All right, wow. What a Sunday of football. A lot had happened tonight. A lot of talk about what we watched tonight on Sunday Night Football. A lot of fans are not happy. I'm a little disgruntled too. And we're going to get into it. 30 seconds. Let's do the 30-second countdown right here on Hanna Time. Cornelius Brad Hanna on Global Sports Broadcasting Network. 30 seconds coming up. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, go. What a day for Sunday football in the NFL. It's still kind of weird. It's October. I just woke up. September ends, and we still got not a whole lot of clarity about 30 teams in the NFL. Okay, and tonight, I think it kind of messed it up even more with the Jets and the Chiefs game. We saw a lot of things tonight and I think it kind of sums up the NFL, what we watched tonight on Sunday Night Football, folks. I know a lot of people are heated up, and the text messages and the social media just lit up in the last 10 minutes or 5 minutes of that football game in New York with the Jets playing the Chiefs itself. And if you didn't watch it, if you don't know about it, the conspiracy theorists, everything about Vegas and gambling, folks, I'll tell you right now, there was a reason why gambling and sports leagues, professional leagues, should never have a relationship. Because what we witnessed tonight, and I know Chiefs fans are going to say no, folks, there were some back-to-back obvious non-calls and calls that went against the Jets late in the game. And you know darn well that betting line was sitting right there. It was sitting right there for the Chiefs for the taking itself, or to secure that. Now, you can go after me on this one, but folks, even if it had nothing to do with the point spread, which I think a lot has lately, I'll tell you this much. That was horrible. That was completely horrible what we watched. When teams are playing physical, they're grabbing, there's so much going on in contact, and then you start throwing stuff and then avoiding stuff when there should have been calls. There was a third down and forever that Mahomes ran for the first down, and there was complete holding everywhere, didn't throw a flag. I don't know how you missed that one. And then they got the holding call on Sauce Gardner. Folks, I'm telling you, man, this is not just one game, though. This has constantly happened over the past few years. The quality of refereeing in the NFL sucks. I'm not giving love to them because you make bad calls, and I got eyeglasses to give you, or there is more going on behind the curtain, behind the shield. Because fans from all over the country, for all the teams that they support, get frustrated and go, oh, it happens. But this is way too much. And it seems to happen in crunch time. I have to give the NBA some credit when they let the guys play in crunch time, right? You know, it's like it gets to the point where, the NFL, man, there is something really weird. And it's every NFL game. Just trying to make sure certain teams are there. I mean, this is kind of what people have always felt. But, man, that was some bad refereeing. Yeah, there was grabbing, but there was both players grabbing. Look at this photograph, folks. Look at this photograph. Okay, this is the big key of the game. Okay, so there is contact. Okay, and there is a grab. But there's also a grab by the receiver himself, too. Okay, now, incidental contact, you can also say that too. Even the announcers said in this Jet game tonight with the Chiefs that there was much more going on than what we witnessed there. Robert Saleh is very upset. You can see him going off on the sidelines if you didn't see that. When you throw flags like that, folks, you cross your eyes going, what what is going on in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes was being outplayed by Zach Wilson. The Jets defense was outplaying them. The Jets had everything going. And the only thing the Jets made the mistake was the fumble. Zach fumbled the snap on a shotgun. And that gave the Chiefs the chance to win the game and put it away. You don't fumble that ball, the Jets probably win this game because Kansas City, you had nothing. Kelsey, yeah, you hung out way too late with Miss Swifty. You came out of the apartment. Everybody saw you, all the cameras. Yeah, you were up late, and you sucked tonight. You were gasping. You were looking for air. Kansas City, you couldn't throw deep. The Jets had your number, everything underneath, and physically, you got beat. You got beat. If it wasn't for your 17-0 lead early in the game, it was all Jets. The Jets put the footprint on this team. That defense is going to be mapped out for all their opponents playing against the Chiefs. But let's get back to this right here. That horrible throwing the flag, a referee that's about 15 yards downfield he just sees one angle of it. And you're going to say, oh, there's a lot of calls. Yeah, there were. But in that time of the game, folks, you know what? If I'm saying this along with tons of people, something's up, right? Something's up. All right. The NFL itself keeps on embarrassing themselves with mediocre refereeing or premeditated stuff going on. I mean, why not talk about it? Why are people afraid to talk about it? Why are players afraid to talk about it? I'm really interested to see what's going to happen after the game with post-conference comments, press conference comments coming out with the Jets locker room itself. That was a great game by the Jets. They were down 17-0, and they were winning that game, and it was stolen from them. It was stolen from them. And let's not go back to the penalty on Sauce Gardner itself. Let's go to the previous play or two when it was holding all over that long scramble first down run by Mahomes. I mean, you can literally see guys grabbing and trying, and players just like throwing it, like you can't even get away because they're being held. And once the guy leaves the pocket, the quarterback, isn't that when penalties are thrown for holding? Because now you're trying to go and tackle the quarterback and changing a direction, and you can see jerseys being pulled. Nothing was thrown. Nothing was thrown. The reason why I'm upset, because I'm tired of the NFL. Tired of this premeditated again. Not just this game, though, folks. This game just kind of puts everybody back into that circle again, inside that circle going, what do we got to do to, like, what is it? How frustrating is it? It really is frustrating. We saw this last week in some games also. When it comes down to the crunch time part of the game, all of a sudden, like, the penalties come out of nowhere, or the non-calls don't even call. It's like pick and choose your moment. Let them play, but they wait for their moment. And sometimes it may not work, but man, I tell you, it's frustrating. If you're a team in the NFL that you're rooting for, you got to blow somebody out to avoid all this crap. You really do. You got to blow somebody out because all the NFL wants is close games. So they'll do anything they can to make it interesting. And I also believe more than ever before that the NFL has certain teams, just like other sports, to make sure they're the popular ones. They really are. So they're going to make sure that they are at the elite part of the standings, right? They're the teams down in December, in January, postseason football. This is what they need. And the NFL is going to say, "Lo, like we're the crazy ones," right? Like when we're watching our own governments around the world, of these, the global governments and all this crap people play. People are not stupid, folks, and we're being thrown BS as if we just got to accept it, and that's what they don't care. and we're just still buying it. We're still paying for it. Think about that. Think about that. It's nonsense. It's a bunch of crap what we watched in those last minutes of the game. If anything, we needed to see this team and this game go down into an overtime, or the Jets get their last possession. Like, this game deserved that kind of finish. And you had America and global football fans watching this and wanting the Jets to get a shot, because that's what that would have been a great finish. And you say, well, maybe they were trying to. No, they cannot have Mahomes at 2-2. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Zach Wilson outplayed Mahomes. The Jets defense outplayed them. The Jets offense put up the numbers. Amazing. Amazing how they can steal a game just like that. I cannot wait for the press conference. I'm going to watch it. I can't watch it now. It's going on right now. But I'm just curious to see what the Jets are going to talk about. And I know this is going to be a big topic tomorrow morning, Monday morning. But it's not just this game. It's not just this game. You know, this game was a focus point, right? This was supposed to be the blowout. You got Mahomes versus Wilson. And it actually turned into something nobody expected, right? These two teams played a slugfest, right? The Jets belonged. The Jets show they have talent. They can play with anybody. And when they got their offense going and Wilson figured it out and started to really look good, and then it started looking great, and then it was just awesome, and then he makes one mistake. He fumbled the ball. He just, in a shotgun formation, all he had to do was just catch it and drop the ball and cost them the game. Cost everything at that point. So you can't even make a mistake. The Jets defense were getting the ball back, and the refs kept on taking it back away from them. That's what I saw. And I see that all over the NFL, all the games. It's amazing. It's disgusting too. It's frustrating. When I watch NFL games, I have a totally different perspective more and more every week, every year. And it's actually like, it's like dissolving my interest because of this crap. This is supposed to be your best referees. And I don't care if anybody's out there go, they make mistakes or there's penalties on every play and all this stuff, right? That's the excuse that I've been hearing for decades. But still, we get crap calls thrown and flags not being thrown. That's not consistent. Be consistent. When you're watching holding penalties every play by Kansas City Chiefs players, offensive linemen, they couldn't stop that defensive line. You can't just throw why not? Stopping the Jets doing damage. Frustrating. But the Jets definitely opened up a book on the Kansas City Chiefs offense, and that is they have no deep threat. Everything's underneath. Put a lot of pressure up the middle, get Mahomes out. The Jets had a spy and everything. They really had a great game plan. And once they got back into the game, it changed everything. Everything. And you got to get a lot of love to Zach Wilson, too. A lot of love. All right, I'm going to move on, man. But this was really frustrating for this watching football tonight. It just doesn't make sense to me. But what does make sense is this. In the NFL itself, where is your team in the NFL? Where is your team in the NFL? Are you happy? It's October 1st. Wake me up when September ends. It's over. Do we have clarity? Do we need another week? I'm going to go through every NFL team right now. And I can probably say only a couple of teams I have distinctive clarity. And I also have an idea of where these teams are going to be going. A lot of it's fluff. A lot of it's hot flashes. A lot of it's just one great game and a bad game. right? Look at Miami. Blew out somebody and got blown out today. That's real. And that is real. Because you're all on Miami's bandwagon. But Buffalo has only given up 55 points this season. Buffalo has only given up 55 points this season. After a shocking loss on first week of the season, very well could be undefeated right now. They've been great. And the Dolphins, with all the crazy love and two of this and all that Tyreek stuff and how can you stop them? They don't have a defense in Miami, and they haven't had a defense all season long. They've been able to outscore you. They've been getting up 119 points this season. That's what it is. The Miami Dolphins, because they have no D in Miami and no D in Dolphins. And that's real. Miami's going to struggle and fight, try to outscore people because they are going to give up points. They're going to. They may beat up on the bad teams because they don't, they outscore them and just double down on that crap. But up against the better teams, beware. Beware. Buffalo is the best team in that AFC East, not Miami. And Buffalo proved it today. They did. The Jets, you saw what they are. A fighting, scrappy team. They had Aaron Rodgers. This team will be right up there with Buffalo. And what you saw with Zach Wilson tonight and he broke out tonight. Maybe better things are going to come. But the Jets are who they are. They're going to fight. They may win a couple of games. They may be right around 500 when this season ends. The Patriots going to have their worst season. It's been a bad season. They got blown out. The worst loss in Belichick's career as a coach. It's real. Not changing. Not changing. You go to the AFC North. Baltimore is doing what it does every year and then falters in the end. I don't know who Baltimore is. I don't know what they are. What a nice game today. They're in first place. That division's far from over in the AFC North. I don't know if Cincinnati can figure it out. They're 1-3, and they have only scored 49 points, the Bengals, in 4 games. 49 points for a team that was supposed to score a lot. They're a mess. Giving up a lot of points, too. The Browns, they're 2-2. The Steelers are 2-2. Steelers just got a lot of offensive problems. It's just vanilla offense. But they always finish strong, and they probably will finish strong. It depends how far behind they are. If the Steelers just maintain and weather the storm and improve and get better by November, you'll start to see this team spring up. That's who they are. So they're in it, but they got to be better. They can't fall behind like they did last year. For the Browns, it looks like the Steelers itself. They're right in the middle. Got to weather the storm and get better and be there in the end and have a shot in the playoffs. Maybe a division title, because I don't think anybody's running it away in the AFC North itself. So when you come down to like point differential in that division itself, right now the Ravens are a plus 41. Okay, AFC North. How crazy is this? The Colts are in first place, but they're not. They're a -2 in the plus minus of scoring, right? The Jaguars are a -2. The Texans had a couple of nice big wins lately, but they're also got 2 wins, right? And they're a plus 17. And then the Titans. What a great win. Like that division is, we cannot judge that division because everybody has had good games and bad games. That's a fun division to watch. Nobody scares me in that division in the AFC South. Nobody scares you, but they're going to be tough to beat. They're battling. Those teams are going to battle you. There's no doubt. Let's go back to the AFC West with the Chiefs tonight and their win. They're in first place, taking more control after the Chargers are going to hang around a little bit after getting that win, but the Chargers can't stop anybody. The Chiefs tonight gave up 20 points. Right? They scored 23. They're a plus 58 on the year. Okay. That's how they're going to keep outscoring and winning. That division is weak. The Chargers will score a lot of points, but they keep on giving up points. Like the Chargers are not a playoff team. The Raiders are not a playoff team. And the Broncos at this point are not, even the great comeback when their defense is nothing there to be excited about. This is after 4 weeks. This is wake me up when September ends, right? We got to wait for tomorrow night with the Giant game against Seattle. But this is what we're going to do. We may need another week or two to kind of clear these things out a little bit, but I think we got an indication already. We got an indication. There's a lot of parity in the NFL. This is what they want more and more. The best team so far in the AFC, I believe, is the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, best team in the AFC right now. Again, it's not Kansas City. Kansas City has struggled, right? And there is something there. There's something wrong there. They're just weathering the storm, but there's something wrong. And I broke it down for you. But the best team in the AFC is Buffalo. And that is clear in my mind. It's not Miami because what happened today? Miami got embarrassed today. Now let's go over to the NFC. The Eagles, when you think you lose a Super Bowl and you think it's just going to turn into a bad following season, but they drafted well. They rejuvenated that defensive line after losing some pieces in that defense, and they're even better. Now, they've given up some points on defense, but they look so good today. They're looking even better, and this is a team that I think will get stronger. This is not a Jalen Hurts kind of season. I think this is more of a team effort from the Eagles, more solid as they are. They're the best in the East of the NFC East. It's not the Cowboys. Cowboys have beaten up on bad teams, right? Look at the Cowboys, right? Got to give them love, but they haven't really faced a tough schedule yet. It comes next week against San Francisco. Washington battle today, right? The Commanders itself. And then you have the Giants, okay, who are waiting. We're waiting for them to kind of break out, right? But right now, this is the Eagles division. There's no doubt. Cowboys will hang around, should make the playoffs based on the competition in the NFC, right? But this is the Eagles division. This is what I know after 4 weeks so far. This is what I know. This is what I see. Just keep moving along. NFC North. We told you Lions were the best team in the division. They're proving it again, right? It's not like they're dominating, but they are superior. They are better. The Packers gave you a lot of love, a lot of fluffy stuff, but they're not there. They may be an average 500 team. They may be 7-10. Right? I'll give them 7 wins. The Vikings and South, I think they're right there like the Packers. The Bears, the most embarrassing team in the NFL. You blew a big lead today and you lost a game to the Broncos, right? That's enough. So in that division, it's the Lions. Clear. This is what we know. I have no faith in the Packers. I got no faith in the Vikings. I got no faith in the Bears. But I have faith in the Lions. The Lions showed up. They responded after last season. They are on target. Let's continue. Wake me up with September end continues. I told you about the Buccaneers. I said the Buccaneers are not going away. Baker Mayfield will hold his own. The Bucs have a good defense. They have offensive weapons. They might be a strong team, but in that division, they were right there with the Saints. I had the Saints winning that division, but Derek Carr is hurt. And that changes that division, and the Buccaneers are in first place. The Buccaneers are not going to go away. Maybe 9-win team, right? A 9-win team for the Bucs. I'd be surprised if they get to 10, but that would be enough to win the division. The Saints will rebound. The Saints will get back into it. They'll be right there with the Bucs. Everybody fell in love with the Falcons and the Panthers, all that love about these quarterbacks, but the reality still sets in after you wake up in September, after it's over. It's going to be Bucs and Saints in the end. And it's clear. NFC West, I think the Rams are better than what we anticipated. I believe in that. I don't believe they're a playoff team, but man, they are not going away though. They're going to hang around. They'll have a shot somewhere in December with time running out to win a couple of games down the stretch and hopefully some breaks. But the Rams, they're dangerous. And they got offensive weapons, so they're not going away. They're going to be competitive. But they're an average football team. Seattle, same kind of team. I think Seattle had a nice little fun storyline last year, but I think the reality is what this team is. We'll see them tomorrow night against the Giants itself. But the reality is they're not threatening anybody. We've seen enough of them. Seen enough so far. The Cardinals itself, out of the two teams I mentioned so far in that NFC West, the Cardinals show me more promise in the long run. Not this season. The Cardinals are just shorthanded, talent-wise. But they're maximizing their abilities and they're playing ball. They're in the right position. They're being coached well. And you can see the Cardinals they're going up. They're not winning, but they're battling. Right? Every team is going home after playing the Cardinals going, that was not easy. Right? Like that team's got balls, right? Like that's what they're saying. That's a good thing. Cardinals may win 3 games, but you pretty much know that at this point they're going to battle. They're going to punch you in the face, but do they have enough punches, right? Like that's the thing with the Cardinals. That's what we learned, right? They battled today against San Francisco. They were right there, right? I mean, the Cardinals, every game, Cardinals are entertaining to watch, right? And that's something that we were not anticipating. But then Josh Dobbs rose up to the occasion, and he makes plays, and the offense is stabilized, right? 49ers itself, the best team in football, but Brock Purdy had a great percentage game. They're just a sound football team. And that's why they probably will end up going to the Super Bowl, because they're sound. They're consistent. They got the machine running. But they're beatable. The way the Cardinals played them with lesser talent, you can see it. But it's not going to happen during the regular season. They're going to steamroll the regular season, and the 49ers will be there in the end, playing some tough teams and with home field advantage. We'll see how it plays out. But we know who they are, right? So that's my take on all the teams in the NFL. But in all reality, the ones that I have a lot of faith in right now are the Buffalo Bills in the AFC. Everybody else in the AFC, I'm not buying yet. I'm not buying the Chiefs. Tonight gave us a good indicator about the Chiefs, but the previous games too. We witnessed it. But they have enough to get through and get past some weaker teams. Okay? We'll see how this plays out, but they don't scare me. They don't scare. They're not a scary team. But the AFC, it's just Buffalo right now. They're for real. In the NFC, it's Eagles and 49ers. Eagles and 49ers. But I think we're being more surprised about the NFC's competitive spirit and how they're battling. Their teams are better. We thought it would be a weaker division conference because of the quarterback play, but Jared Goff is playing at a high level, folks. Remember, he was a joke in a lot of people's verbiage, right? But he's not. Jared Goff is playing ball. He's got that system down, and they're playing well. They're playing very well in Detroit. They got their quarterback. I'm not surprised. And they will compete. The AFC, to me, has more convincing, better teams right now than I see in the AFC. AFC is mismatch. It's like a lot of 500 teams. Like you just don't know who's good. Each week, it's like, look what happened to Miami today after what last week was. But they gave up 20 points last week. They battled 2 weeks ago. See, we fall in love with what? The hype, the narrative, the highlight reel. But when all said and done, after 4 weeks so far, it's Buffalo in the AFC, the Eagles in the NFC with the 49ers, and right there are the Detroit Lions. They got ballers too. Those are the only kind of I got clearer minds that these teams are going to be that. Dallas, I don't know. I don't know who they are yet because we watched what happened against the Cardinals. Okay. We saw that. They played against weaker opponents. The Jets were lost in that game against Dallas. The Giants were completely lost. So, the Cowboys really did their business, but really wasn't challenged. You want to see Dallas get punched in the face. The Cardinals punched them in the face, and they buckled. Yeah, the Cowboys had injuries, but so a lot of teams. But these, that's the case. But so I'm not there yet with the Cowboys. I'm not there yet. All right. You guys have been great so far. I appreciate your time in here. That's my rundown with waking me up when September ends. We may need one more week or two in the NFL to really separate teams. But the NFL is so much in a parity mode. It's going to be hard for you to be a gambler in the NFL. I would really watch how you bet in the NFL. All right. Let's talk about this right here. Chicago Bears, Lovie Smith, when he was let go as the Bears coach, they were 81-63, 3 playoff appearances, a Super Bowl appearance. And then here came Mark Trestman, 13-19. John Fox thought he was going to be something special, 14-34, right? Matt Nagy, didn't happen. Now we have Matt Eberflus in there, and it's a disaster in Chicago. And maybe you shouldn't have gotten rid of Lovie Smith, right? Maybe you should have held on a little longer. But they just can't get the right coach or the right whatever is going on in Chicago. But they're truly heading towards a number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft next April, where it's going down. And, you got to give love to this guy a little bit today who had a great first half, but then he disappeared in the second half. And the Broncos just found a way to win a game. It was the ugly game. It was 2 bad teams, and one had to win, I guess. But he was having a career first half. 16 for 17, Justin Fields. 3 touchdown passes. Not bad. Not bad itself. All right. So, latest news on Aaron Rodgers, folks. Aaron Rodgers at the game tonight brought some stability, brought some cohesiveness, some of his manifestation that he loves to bring to the locker room. And it seemed like it did have a way to affect the Jets tonight. He watched the game from the booth itself, basically from the suite. And he's walking without the boot on his foot. He's looking in a rigorous 5-hour workout, and he promises himself and everybody else that he'll be back before this season ends. I knew Aaron would give it his best shot. I didn't think he was done. And I'm looking forward to see if he can finish this and find a way to get back on the field. But he believes in it. And the training and rehabilitation that he's going through is nothing like anybody else has done, rupturing your Achilles heel. And he'll be going into some rigorous training when he gets off the crutches here real soon. And what a story that would be if somehow the Jets were able to hang around in the season, and then Aaron somehow makes this comeback, and boom. What a story that would be. But I want the story. I'm rooting for the story to happen, and we'll see what happens itself. All right, so there's your football roundup. We kind of have an idea how this season's going. We don't know. We'll probably have 10 teams in December all having playoff opportunities. It's going to be exactly what we've been watching. And the referees tonight showed us once again that overall throughout the league, every game we have issues with referees, and it continues. This was supposed to be the best of the best, but they make bad decisions, poor decisions, or were they premeditated or fixed? And a lot of people now are leaning on the fix. The society is tired of people in power throwing stuff in your face. If it's from sports, if it's something else at work, if it's something else with your government, right? It's like nobody cares anymore because you keep buying into it. And we're talking about the complaints. But how embarrassing is that? The NFL, if you truly want to, just go to flag football. Just go to flag football. Get it over with. Just end it. because you can't hit right. You can't sack a quarterback correctly, right? I saw one of the Jet defenders tonight. How he had a running start to blow up Mahomes. It would have been legal. He would have destroyed him. And I said to myself, it would have been legal, but they would have thrown a penalty because he destroyed Mahomes. But the defender somehow decided not to hit him. It was really strange. He's number 4 for the Jets. I think it's Reed. And that just told me right there, defenders are afraid to hit the quarterback. He had every shot and maybe to a point knocking him out of the game. I mean, it was that close. I think the announcers even said that. And it was like, why didn't he hit him? And they gave credit to Mahomes because he was able to slip away. Now, I think the defender didn't want to hit him, didn't want to get called for roughing the quarterback. But that's not football. That's not football. Might as well go to flag football. All right, let's switch and go into some baseball mode, folks. Every game, the last game of the year for Major League Baseball, there's always a player or two that hangs it up. And it's not often that you get legends of the game, Hall of Fame kind of caliber, or Hall of Famers that are going to hang it up. And we had a couple of today, and maybe a third one. Joey Votto, don't know if he's going to hang it up, but there's talk about him. But that's not official yet. But this guy right here, Miguel Cabrera, remember him back in 2002, the World Series, a young guy, came onto the scene big in that World Series itself, ended it today. His family was there, very emotional, Hall of Famer, just a lot. It was Triple Crown, I believe, too, right? And a guy played for the Florida Marlins, but ended up most of his career with the Detroit Tigers himself, and legend. And congratulations on a nice career for Miguel Cabrera. Also, another one coming out of St. Louis, Wainwright, the pitcher itself. Really touching story, too. They gave him one chance in front of the fans tonight. He came into the game, and they also allowed him to get one at-bat, his last at-bat as a professional baseball player. A long career, aging player, but in front of the fans itself, what a great one. And I like how Major League Baseball, I wonder, I should say, if they actually line this up so he can have a home game the last game of the year, and that Cabrera could do it too in Detroit. Because I know Derek Jeter never got that. Derek Jeter played his last game as a Yankee like a week before the season ended. His last game was in Fenway, of all places. So, but I wonder if they learned from that experience to make sure that these guys get their due respect in their moment, the last game, ending it properly. And I wonder, building the schedule that way. I don't know if it's fair for all the other teams, but I like seeing that. I like seeing players going out on their home turf. Last game, I remember Walter Payton from the Bears itself, when he just sat there. Walter Payton just sat there, and it felt like cold weather in Chicago Soldier Field, and you just knew it was over. And the great legend, I met Walter Payton a long time ago in Vegas after his career, and just one of the he was sweetness, but he was really a kind, loving, sweet man in person too. But that was those are the moments that I love watching, the ending of a great career, and these guys walking off the stage. When Elvis leaves the building, I think these players who have given their heart and soul and everything they could, and to do that in front of their fans, I think it's really special. So watching some baseball players today being able to do that, I think baseball, either they did it on purpose or not, but it was great to see. It was great to see. All right, more baseball talk itself. There's Wainwright, and there is guy Cabrera itself. Congratulations, guys. All right, so your baseball playoffs are lined up. It all starts on Tuesday. It'll start in the morning. What is it? Tampa Bay and Texas go at it itself. And then you got the Twins and the Blue Jays. And then it's followed by the Diamondbacks and Milwaukee Brewers. And then that's that night game between the Phillies and the Marlins. We got to give a lot of love to the Marlins. It's like their 4th time in playoff history ever for them to be in the playoffs. You got to give love to the Diamondbacks, who Not a lot of people gave them a lot of love early on, but we knew they would be competitive and somewhat, but they made the playoffs. It's going to be nice to see Eva Longoria or the Diamondbacks getting back to the postseason after a long run. He had many years with Tampa Bay, and now he's back. You're going to see some of this. The Marlins, and think about the Marlins story itself and how they've come so far and forward. This is like Derek Jeter's team. Derek Jeter built that Marlins team, and it's in the playoffs, but somehow he got chased out of Miami. Really strange story there. But this is your Major League Baseball, right? It's your playoff, right? The teams that got the bye were the Dodgers and the Atlanta Braves, and then you got the bye with the Houston and the Baltimore Orioles itself. Who wins the World Series? It looks like it's all about Atlanta itself, but I will say this: Milwaukee's got the best bullpen, and that plays a big part in postseason. Okay. I don't know how the Diamondbacks got a tough task. They got to get out early and win early, or start taking early leads. They cannot fall behind because that bullpen will shut you down in Milwaukee. That's a fact, unless somehow the Diamondbacks can figure it out. Philadelphia is one of the hotter teams in Major League Baseball. Marlins are fun to watch. Phillies, nobody wants to play Philly right now in the playoffs, right? And then you guys flip over to the American League, right? Tampa Bay in Texas itself, they don't scare me. They're not winning the World Series. Those two teams itself, I'm not. The American League doesn't impress me. Can somebody get hot? Does Minnesota? I mean, yeah, Minnesota. Does that scare anybody? No, it doesn't. Toronto, they backdoored in. I mean, they have players, but they got issues, right? It's almost like by default, some of these teams got in. They survived the marathon of 162. And then you got Baltimore, who had a great year, but they got injuries. Their bullpen got shattered a little bit with some injuries that they're not going to have guys in the bullpen. That's going to play a big part. Houston backed in. I mean, they played enough to get into the playoffs, and they kind of backdoored into their division title. Do they scare? No, but can somebody get hot in the American League? Sure. Can they match up what's going to go on in the National League? The Dodgers are there again, but I don't trust their bullpen. I don't even trust their starting pitching. And good pitching will, it's like the Dodgers going to get a lot of love because of their name. I see Atlanta playing Philly, and I see the Dodgers playing Milwaukee, if I was going to predict anything. I'm rooting for the Diamondbacks because I think it's a great story. I'm rooting for the Marlins. I love to see the Marlins and the Diamondbacks get through and go up and take out one of the top teams like Atlanta and LA. That would be fantastic. But to be wise and smart about this, I like Milwaukee because of their bullpen. It's pretty freaking good, actually. But we'll see. It has to still perform. It still has to play itself out. And the National League should win the World Series. We'll wait and see. Itself. All right. So there's your wrap for Major League Baseball itself. I think I nailed everything I wanted to talk about. My sponsor right here, once again, is P2P Ticks. You got to go on this line, folks. If you want to make an exchange with somebody direct person to person, this is where you go. You do not have to, this is not a listing for tickets. You don't go on this site and find tickets. This is where you got somebody who wants to buy your tickets, or you find somebody and they're like, let's make the deal. You go here where legally it's going to be taken care of, money back guaranteed, and you have an agreement, documented everything. So you have a place to go to protect you. It's safe, secure, money back guarantee, P2P Ticks. Check it out itself. It's get the app itself right now. I know you can get it through the Apple Store itself, but go ahead and grab it. Download it for free. P2P Ticks, safe and secure. It's not just for sports. It's for constant anything or tickets. Anywhere, anything you want to exchange ticket-wise, and you don't want to go, or you got to get rid of your tickets, or you got to buy. This is where you go. Make your deal online and make it there. P2P Ticks. safe and secure, money back guaranteed itself. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for the Sunday NFL football itself and some baseball talk. Big game tomorrow night to watch. I'm looking forward to. We're going to have a Monday night party over at Twin Peaks in Tempe, Arizona itself, with a bunch of football fans and others out there. I'm going to root for the Giants because I had them going to the playoffs. So if they don't win, I'm going to look bad. But, it's football. Got to enjoy it while it lasts, right? But I'm not happy. I'm not happy how the league and the referees, bad taste tonight watching that game between the Jets and the Chiefs. But we'll have to regroup and get into another week of football, week 5, and see how this thing plays out itself, folks. So join me again tomorrow night, too. We'll have 2 shows tomorrow itself. We're going to have another NFL show. We're also going to have a Cardinal show this week. Also, previewing their game next week itself against the Bengals. And we're also going to go baseball. We're going to have a special guest, baseball insider, to preview and match up with all the all the stats and numbers, the inside part of the game about baseball with all the teams that are in the playoffs itself. That'll be fun to watch because it's going to be hot and heavy Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Major League Baseball playoffs, first round of baseball. They call it wild card. It's first round baseball. All these teams earned it. That's it. It's like a 3-game series. Got to win 2 to move on. Good luck to those teams and your fans out there. It'll be fun to watch. Baseball takes center stage. It's October. Postseason. The Fall Classic is revving up. And I love that. I love October baseball. That's a lot of fun. All right, folks. We're going to wrap it up here on Global Sports Broadcasting Network. Cornelius, Brad, Hanna, my sponsors have been running through at the bottom of the screen itself, all of them itself. But appreciate you guys checking in one more time. We'll take it out here, some music, some hot music itself. But once again, and keep leaving me your comments itself. I know you're a lot of comments there. Wait, you know what? Before we get the music up, Stu, I got the music. I got Henry here. I got Mariana here. Henry says Cards will win 5 games. Rams are not good. Bengals are bad. Falcons aren't good. May be right. Maybe right. 6 wins for Seattle. I get it. Kenny Salinas in the house. Appreciate it. AZ Angels. Packers will get better, as will the Broncos. We'll see. Lucy in the sky. She's there. And who else is popping on the show tonight? Christine down in Tucson, Arizona. Eric Goldberg in New Jersey. I'm sure he's pissed off about what happened tonight with the Jets. Amy Napper-Kelza. How you doing, Amy? Good job. Mike Johnson in the house. Appreciate that. Juan Otero in the house. Good job. The ref was really bad call on the ref. Yeah, we see the Nick Hanna in the house also. Jose, Danielle. Hey, Jose. Can you see? Appreciate you popping in stuff. All right, guys. Love you guys. Appreciate it. Hanna Time. Global Sports Broadcasting Network. We're out.